Welcome to The Explainer. You know all that stuff you buy? Well, today we're pulling back the curtain on its secret life. We're going to trace the incredible, totally invisible journey every single product takes, just to end up in your hands. I mean, you see a storefront like this pretty much every day, right? It's the last stop, all polished and ready for us. But what you don't see, well, that shiny exterior is hiding a story that's way more complex than you'd ever guess. So, have you ever really thought about it? How did all this stuff get here? That t-shirt hanging on the rack? It's been on a truly epic journey. We're talking a story of cutthroat competition, super high-stakes strategy, and a logistical operation so massive it literally spans the entire globe. And the craziest part? It's all completely invisible to us. Okay, so for this explainer, we're going to go on that journey. We're going to uncover that invisible machinery that brings stuff from all over the world right to our fingertips. And we're going to trace it backwards, starting from the very end, the place where you and I finally enter the picture, the retail store. All right, first up, the world of retail, the final stop. Now, we all think we know what a retail store is, right? It's the part of the journey we actually see. But trust me, it is packed with hidden strategies that are designed to shape our every single move. So what is retailing officially? Well, it's actually pretty simple. It includes all the activities involved in selling goods or services directly to us, the final consumers, for our own personal use. So yeah, that could be a huge place like Walmart or your local corner store, an online shop, heck, even the vending machine down the hall. Basically, if you're buying it for yourself and not for a business, that's retail. And what's really fascinating when you look at this is just how specialized retail has become. It's not just stores. You've got your department stores, your supermarkets, your discount giants, and then you have these off-price retailers like TJ Maxx or Costco. Their entire brilliant business model is built on selling leftover or irregular goods at a huge discount. Every single one of these store types exists to solve a really specific problem for a very specific kind of shopper. And it's not just the type of store, it's the level of service they offer, which has a huge impact on their costs and our experience. It's really a spectrum, right? On one end, you've got total self-service. Think discount stores where you do all the work, locate, compare, select. That keeps their costs way down. But on the other end of the spectrum, you've got full service, where salespeople are there to help you with everything. It's a massive strategic choice that totally defines what it feels like to shop there. Okay, so that brings up a big question. How do these places actually compete with each other? Let's go behind the scenes and take a look at the retailer's playbook. We're talking about the secret strategies they use to get us in the door and, gently nudge us to buy. Let me tell you, it's not just about what they sell. It is all about how they sell it. The store's atmosphere is an incredibly powerful tool. And I mean, nothing in a store is there by accident. The layout, the lighting, the music, even the smell. It's all meticulously designed to create a very specific vibe. Bloomingdale's is famous for this. They'll pump the smell of suntan lotion into the swimwear section just to get you in that vacation mood and ready to buy. And this quote about REI is a brilliant example of something called experiential retail. Think about it. In a world where you can buy literally anything online with one click, why would you go to a physical store? Well, stores like REI get it. They have to offer something more. They're not just selling you a raincoat. No, by letting you test it out under a simulated rain shower, they're selling you the experience of adventure. They're selling you confidence that this gear is the real deal. And it all comes down to knowing your customer. Retailers create these super targeted strategies. Target, for example, basically invented the idea of cheap chic by doing collaborations with these high-end designers. But Best Buy took it to another level. They literally segmented their customers into groups they called affluent tech geeks and busy suburban moms, and then changed the whole store experience just to appeal to each group. And then you have companies that take this to the absolute extreme. I mean, look at Bass Pro Shops. They've basically turned shopping into an entertainment destination. We're talking giant aquariums, waterfalls, archery ranges, fishing classes, the whole 9 yards. And you have to ask, why? Because they know they're not just competing with other sporting goods stores. They're competing for your entire weekend. And it's clearly working. Their Missouri showroom is the #1 tourist attraction in the whole state. A store. Okay, so we've talked about the store. But what about the actual products on the shelves? Because let me tell you, the battle for that shelf space is unbelievably fierce. And one of the biggest game changers in recent years has been the rise of private labels, brands owned by the stores themselves. So what exactly is a private label brand? It's just a brand that the retailers and wholesalers develop themselves. You also hear them called store brands or house brands, and you absolutely know these. We're talking about Costco's Kirkland Signature or pretty much everything at Trader Joe's. At some point, retailers just figured, hey, why are we only selling other people's stuff when we could just make our own? And if you're wondering just how big a deal this is, get this. Today, 1 in every 4 items sold in U.S. supermarkets and mass merchandisers is a private label brand. That is huge. They've totally shed that old reputation of being just cheap knockoffs. Now, they're serious competitors to the biggest national brands out there. And if you look at the numbers, you can see exactly where these private labels really shine. It's in the staple categories, right? Milk, bread, cheese. Think about it. For these everyday things, a lot of us aren't super loyal to a specific brand. We're more focused on getting a good price. And that gives the retailer's own, usually cheaper, version a massive leg up. So this whole thing creates this really fascinating power struggle. The national brands have the name recognition, sure, but the private labels have the home field advantage. The retailer can give its own brands the best spot on the shelf, and they don't have to spend a ton on marketing like the big guys do. It puts the retailer in this really weird position where they're both a partner and a direct competitor to the very brands they sell. It's a real tug of war. All right, so we've spent a lot of time in the store, but that's really just the final piece of the puzzle. The question is, how do all those thousands of products from hundreds of different manufacturers get to all those retail stores in the first place? To figure that out, we need to zoom out a bit and meet the hidden middlemen of the whole operation, the wholesalers and distributors. So what is wholesaling? It's basically all the activities involved in selling goods to folks who are going to resell them, like retailers, or use them for their business. These guys are the essential middlemen. They're not selling to you and me. They're selling to the stores we shop at. You can think of them as a bridge. They buy stuff by the truckload directly from the factory, and then they sell it by the case to all the individual retail stores. And believe me, they do a lot more than just move boxes around. Just imagine for a second, what if your local grocery store had to order an entire truckload of ketchup directly from Heinz? They couldn't. There's no way. Wholesalers solve that exact problem. It's a function called bulk breaking. They're the ones who buy the giant truckload, and then they break it down, selling just a few cases to each store that needs it. By handling all the warehousing, the transportation, even the financial risk, they're the ones that make the whole system actually work. Okay, for our final piece of the puzzle, we're going to take our biggest zoom out yet. We are going all the way back to the beginning to reveal the product's epic journey. We're talking about the massive global logistics network that moves everything across oceans and continents just to make all of this possible. This whole global dance is called market logistics. And really, it all boils down to solving one incredibly complex puzzle. It's like a mantra for these companies. Get the right goods to the right place at the right time for a profit. Every single decision a company makes is just an attempt to get that equation as perfect as possible. And right at the heart of that puzzle is a core trade-off that we all get, intuitively: fast delivery or low cost. You can't have both. It's that simple. A company can use air freight to get a product to a store in a day, but man, that is expensive. Or they can put it on a container ship for way, way less money, but it's going to take weeks to get there. There's no magic answer. So every single product you've ever bought is the result of a company making a very specific strategic choice in this constant balancing act. So there you have it, from the factory floor, through that hidden network of middlemen, to a carefully designed store, and finally, into your hands. The journey is complete, and it's a journey that happens, what, billions of times every single day around the world. So the next time you pick something off a shelf, just take a second to think about the incredible invisible journey it took to get there.